Ooh, Deku. I know you don't mean it like that, but getting your DNA into someone is, an interesting phrase. Okay. Hey, I may have downloaded the wrong My Hero Academia this week, but I'm gonna see it through to the end. This might be, honestly, the only time I've known a battle shonen to end its series with the main character forcing his DNA down the throat of, the enemy. Here we are, though. Alright, Shiggy, we going in raw again. Spread them cheeks for us. I sound like a broken record, but I'm just so sad because we're so close to the end of this. We're gonna have to watch the movies or something, though, just to keep the My Hero spirit alive. Like, once a year, we'll just watch a My Hero movie, so we got a little something to keep the edge off, you know? You gotta admit, though, like, this man has been running on fumes for a while, and he's still fighting like this is his first, like, swing. You gotta give Deku some major props for how much he's pulling off here. Oh, Truck-kun'd's coming in! Yo, they tried to fucking isekai Deku, what the fuck? So, you know, out of all the battle shonens I've seen, I think now I can count on a singular finger how many of them have ended with forcing DNA down another person's throat. But you know what? In My Hero Academia, do I trust? Now, granted, did he actually punch the stomach? But sure, let me make my jokes, damn it. We know you swallow things, goes in the stomach anyway. And at the end of the day, Deku made Shigaraki swallow him, and that's what matters. The thing is, this is actually really well written. Jokes aside, this is actually a really compelling final battle. Now, I don't think anything is going to top Bakugo. I think him coming out and just reminding us that, oh yeah, we were worried if he was dead, but then we got distracted because so many other things happened, and him just absolutely beating the living shit, calling out Deku's actual name, like, just, that was a moment that I just don't see them topping in the final few episodes. Maybe they will, and I'll be proven wrong, but I think for me that's going to be the all-star moment of this series. But that doesn't take away from the fact that what Deku is doing, he's essentially giving up everything. And he's okay with that. If Deku was to die fighting Shigaraki, as long as he gets the W, he would go out with a grin on his face. If he loses every single quirk he has, I think he would have a grin on his face. Because at the end of the day, it's not about propelling himself. The thing is he always wanted to be a hero like All Might, someone who could save the day. And while sure, it would be great if he could continuously do that forever, I mean, at the end of the day, this is greater than anything All Might ever faced. Like, he could retire very happy if this happens. What will happen? I don't know. But either way, the fact that he's not even thinking about that, he's just like, whatever it takes. And if that isn't the number one hero, I don't know what is. Whatever it takes. Whatever I have to sacrifice, like, he'll do. And I think while there's definitely going to be a lot of hatred if Deku gives, like, dark Shigaraki here a hug and he lights up and, you know, we save the child within him. At the end of the day, that's exactly what makes Deku a hero. Remove Deku and replace All Might in this moment. I am 100% convinced All Might would have the same reaction that, like, we got to save this child. Because that's just who they are as characters, you know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, when you really take a step back and you look at his core beliefs as a person from the very beginning, Deku has remained probably the most true to his own beliefs, despite becoming more and more muscular and manly and all these other things. Instead, no, he has remained to have the purity, which is why All Might really trusted the future in his hands, right? But it's a team effort. It's the work of everyone. And honestly, seemingly finishing the battle in like an internal mind lock is kind of a fun way to go about everything here, because I think Deku's kind of ran his course on the outside. Them all forcing through the crack makes a lot of sense if you ask me, but either way, it'll be interesting to see what they do, because this was a hell of an episode. The number of times I looked at Deku and I said, it doesn't get cooler than this. Like, he looked like Venom, he looked like a monster, he was him. And the way, like, there's this moment with Black Whip where, like, he makes Shiggy think he's closer than he is because of the blood, and then when he's there, he, like, swoops in. Oh, it's just such a sick move. Now, before we jump any further, gotta remind you, if you got this far in the video, make sure you drop a like, share your support, subscribe if you happen to be new around your Patrons, where you can catch my full live reactions to all these episodes and more. And hey, we're also doing a giveaway over on my Patreon, so if you join any of the reaction tiers, the basic or above, before the end of this month, you get entered in a giveaway for a 1-year subscription to my Patreon, courtesy of me. So great time to join if you're interested. This is something that's always bothered me. Now, you haven't really seen too much of it with this season or the past season with season 7 because it just looks so good. But even when My Hero was at its worst visually, the thing that I think people overlooked was how consistent My Hero has been for 8 goddamn years. 9 years maybe, I don't know. But you get my point. Because as much as I love Attack on Titan, every season had a different visual style to it. Some styles I liked more than others, but like a show like My Hero, or a Dr. Stone, or a 2 Year Eternity, sometimes, yes, those shows don't move that much, but they are consistent visually from the beginning all the way to the home stretch. And a show like My Hero that's ran as long as it is, I honestly think My Hero at its worst visually is still a lot better than an average looking battle shonen gets anymore. And you can call me crazy for that, but I honestly think even, what was it, season 6 or season 5, when everyone was bitching and moaning, while there's definitely criticisms, they still used that season to kind of like figure out how to do a lot of 3D camera work, which then in return made the future seasons after it so much cooler when they were basically flying around the city like they were Spider-Man or Superman or any of them, right? Swinging and flying, it was just so cool. I think they cooked. I don't think My Hero has a lot of major issues outside of old grape juice. You can quote me on that. I gotta be real though. I know this is crazy. People are gonna say, Brandon, you're huffing the hopium, the copium, the fandoms. You need to learn how to criticize. But I don't think there's a more fun show airing than My Hero right now. I don't. I really don't. Like, if I'm looking at pure fun, and I've said this consistently, Saturday morning cartoons. The fact that this show has kept the same core identity, it's gotten more serious at points. We've had death. I mean, Stain, rip bozo. But at the end of the day, just that pure fun factor. And I think this is what makes it so great, is I'm remembering when Deku, it was at the end or near the beginning of last season, when all the people were like almost trying to revolt and like we're kind of rising above everything, like we gotta turn them over, blah, blah, blah. And just like looking at those people now in the crowd watching the TV and like cheering, but also feeling guilty and like, oh my God, how could we ever have doubted in this guy? Like he's our last beacon to potentially live. The way we have watched Deku's journey, I don't think Deku is the greatest written shonen character of all time, but I think he is an incredibly well-written character for what My Hero Academia needed him to be. And I think it's the collective, the cheers and the hopes and the dreams and the regret and the torment of everyone in the audience being like, this kid, if he falls, we die. And it's not a matter of if he doesn't do it, it's more of like, how could we have ever doubted in someone who can fight that hard? They did such a great job making us feel like we're a member of that audience, wondering if we're going to live or die here. And we just want to see this kid succeed. They did such a great job. They didn't do some ass pull where it's like, oh my God, you know, Deku gets his 15th power up. Like, we know what powers he has because of his essential Batman utility belt, you know what I mean? So they've done a great job if you ask me. I think there's a lot of little things I can criticize that have like lessened enjoyment at different points. In terms of last season, season 7 or season 8, I don't really have those points. But yes, like probably somewhere between the 3 to 6, there's lots of little moments that I was like, at the time, I was like, hey, I don't really like this, or I'm mediocre on this, or hey, I would have liked to see a character a little more extended past this. But as a whole, does it really lessen my enjoyment? Not really. Like in terms of enjoyment, this show's 10 out of 10. Overall though, it's like a 8 to 9 out of 10 show if I have my issues and I look at it objectively. But everyone's got their tastes. It's just, I think for a long time people were a little too harsh. It's kind of like, you know what it reminds me of? I'm not a sports guy, but I see it a lot with my own family where it's like there's people who don't root on a team, but when that team's approaching a championship of some sort, they're like, yeah, we were always a fan of the team. Woohoo! We're gonna root them on. But it's like, no, you don't deserve that. I'm sorry to say. Like, you can enjoy the game, but you're not the true. The true fans are the ones who have been from the very beginning being like, no, we really like this and we want to see the show succeed. And now we're reaping in the rewards as some false fans are coming in trying to be like, oh, we were always there too. No, I wasn't saying it was a dog shit show in season 6. No, not me at all. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? Great episode. I mean, it's not often you can say your battle shonen forces DNA down another man's throat, but I think I downloaded the right episode of My Hero Academia this week. Let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around your patrons, where you catch those full live reactions, all this and more, and I also like to give video shoutouts to those wonderful patrons. Alright, so today we got Corbo, Casper Joel Jensen, George Parra, Car Goofy, Universal God, Kevin Wallace, Tony Keats, and we also have One-Eyed King. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.